You know, there's some people who have been trying to make the case to use Bitcoin in everyday interaction, and I actually disagree with that. I don't think that it's really good to use day to day. It's somewhat clunky. The price to use it is very expensive in a lot of cases, and it doesn't really make sense for everybody who's used to using the current technology to use Bitcoin, other than, being a Bitcoin maximalist. I do love the technology. I love that it's decentralized, but using it day to day does not make sense at all. And there are a lot of people who think that, using it to buy, you've seen people use it to buy pizza or buy these things, or you see people talking about the Lightning Network, all these different things that people want to start getting more traction for Bitcoin. But I'm someone who's more realistic, and the only way that I want to recommend something for someone like, hey, I want to use Bitcoin to make a purchase, is if it actually makes sense. And right now, I don't think that Bitcoin actually makes sense to start making purchases. There's way easier ways to make purchases. One of the things is that with Bitcoin is that, yes, it's environmentally, it uses up a ton of energy. It's not really that decentralized because a lot of the mining is actually in China, which is not the best with civil rights, which is not the best with rights in general. And if they ever want to pull the plug, it can actually do damage to the network. So those are some things that I think are a little problematic. Also, when in certain times when the network gets congested, the price goes up a lot more. And so what ends up happening is that you have a level of potential risk of high fees that people can't afford. Now, there is some things with not necessarily everyday transactions, which it could be better. Let's say, for example, you are from another country, right? And you work in America as maybe like some kind of on a visa program, and you want to send money back to family. In those cases, using something like a Western Union or using something like a bank transfer where it takes several days and it can be extremely expensive, makes total sense to send Bitcoin, right? Because the money will be there within minutes and the family will get those things. But at the same time, not many places are still accepting Bitcoin at this time. So that's the kind of trade-off that you have. So that's all I really want to talk to you guys about, is why someone would want to use Bitcoin as a means of exchange versus why they wouldn't. Some of the pros of using that Bitcoin as a means of exchange versus some that wouldn't. But if you were an everyday American citizen or in a country that actually has systems set up for centralized payments, right now I don't really see the argument for trying to convince people to use Bitcoin in their everyday life. It just doesn't make sense unless you're just somebody who's a maximalist. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Am I right? Am I wrong? I'm always interested in learning more. Maybe I missed something. So go ahead and leave a comment below. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I'll see you guys again here real soon.